Sherman, no matter what, you got this trip.
Did you just study professored me?
I did. Going for the scumbag, but I don't think I succeeded on this one.
No.
That's all good. But we're back.
No, I'll wait for your birthday to give you the true scumbag.
But yeah, man, we are back. Doc and Prof coming at you live, not straight to DVD like some of those other podcasts, right? Here we are. It's Friday. It is Friday, right?
It is.
It's been a long week, Johnny. But yes, we're back here. As you know, Doc Leesner here, the podcasting beast, Dr. Wednesday Night himself, alongside the Professor John Gotti, the king of RNG, the troll master, the data analyzer ninja, the doctor of his own fate, the new Terminator coming soon, the cleaner.
Best podcasting machine. Tranquilo. Doc El Idolo, how are you doing on Friday? Welcome back. You have been missed.
Hey, I'm just happy to be able to sit down and talk sports with my brother. It's time for us to peel this sports banana.
I don't know if that's a violation, HR. I'm kind of glad Helen didn't raise out of her office.
Oh, Helen's on PTO. Helen's on PTO. But anyway, as we started here, we have Sherman news. Richard Sherman, which just does not sound anything like the Richard Sherman that we know. Like, obviously, we know, on the field, Sherman is different, but this does not sound like the Richard Sherman that we all have come to somewhat love
or hate. Like, it's a real John Cena type of relationship.
Yeah, like it's interesting. Obviously, you see Richard Sherman, obviously a very intelligent guy, somebody who, obviously knows finance. He obviously knows law. He knows a lot about a lot of different things. I see him popping up on my Instagram every 2 to 5 minutes, telling me how to spend my money. But it seems like in this situation, this domestic dispute here, and of course, Johnny, it was caught on tape.
Of course.
Him trying to get into his in-laws' house. Apparently, that's the whole situation. So he was charged with domestic violence, residential burglary. But of course, it was reduced to a few misdemeanors, which probably will lead to a fine, right? Maybe some community service or something.
Of course.
But it's so random, man. Like, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago with the athletes and how, and during the off season, how bored they are. And I think this has to be, another situation where these guys are just bored.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, here's Richard Sherman, who is a free agent, right?
Yep.
Waiting for a team to come in, pick him up, and well, dang it, here we are. and he goes ahead and gets himself in trouble. So I find that to be really, really crazy. What were your thoughts when you first saw this crap?
Well, my initial thoughts was, we need way more information.
Which is why we waited, which is great.
Yeah, like luckily we waited pretty much the whole week until we actually heard some more information, so that helps out.
That's what we do.
But it's just like you said, they are so bored during the off season. Like, unfortunately, this is more common than not. I mean, not to this particular parallel, but like we've seen, a trend of football players getting into lawful trouble.
Yeah.
And the craziest part is, like, I think outside of maybe one player, and I forgot his name off the top of my head right now, who's actually facing like 3 years in prison.
That's Frank Clark.
Yes. Many of them usually end up getting charged with a misdemeanor, or they would just
Right.
have to pay a fine and do community service.
Right.
Now, the question I want to ask you is, because we hear about this all the time, and we're not
Yeah.
going to turn this into a political thing,
Sure.
but is there a sense of double standard in this?
I think also. But here's the
Because
issue.
of
And if
him
you,
being a public figure, him being an athlete.
and
If
this is what I was gonna say, which is,
will
I'm
Joe
glad you
Schmo
brought
down
that
the
up,
street get the opportunity to have those type of reduced charges?
and that's a good point. And I think ultimately, when you think about the student athlete, and this might spark, not super public debate, but it might spark some public interest because starting from high school, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have a star athlete, might come in late, some teachers might give them a little leeway with the assignments, right? Especially in some of these football towns where, football's king. You don't want to be that teacher who causes the star player to miss the game, right? And if you look at all of the movies, right, all of the football movies, I know that they're depicting how a drama, they're adding drama to it, right? But some of it's true. It's like, hey, you know, Friday Night Lights, or let's not go Friday Night Lights. Let's go Varsity Blues.
Yeah, Varsity
You
Blues
know,
is a good one.
wide receiver steals the cop car, right? Drives around, two naked girls in the car, right?
Yep.
Blaring the sirens. Cops are in the diner talking about it. Coach says, "Hey, are my boys causing you any trouble?" And he said, "No, no, coach, they just kids." No, they're not just kids.
Nope.
They just stole a car, your car. Now you're embarrassed as a figure of authority. So it's like, obviously it's not that far
Air quote authority.
authority, right? It's obviously most things are not that far, but some people I feel like have been slapped on the wrist and used as scapegoats. So in my opinion, it's like certain things that happened, and of course, a lot of people are going to use that other Seahawks player that beat his girlfriend up, right? And I don't think he had any real um, repercussions for his, I guess, participation in this beating of his. I think it was his girlfriend. I don't think it was his wife, but on the other spectrums, you had your Ray Rice, you had Darius Geis, right? Who we talked about, his career was pretty much
Mm-hmm.
over. I think he settled or he was acquitted, one or the other, from the charges that he faced. So it's a thing where the
And I
punishments,
mean, we can say the Ray Rice situation became even more because it's dealing with domestic violence. There's video of it, which didn't help
right?
out. The
Video,
league
yes.
looked horrible throughout the entirety of that situation too. So they kind of had to do what they had to do.
Who wants to deal with that? Like, that fan base, right? But then you have other guys, like think about it. These guys, they weren't suspended for, like they weren't suspended indefinitely, right?
Nope.
Like they weren't banned or anything for a year. But then you look at somebody like Josh Gordon, who, obviously violates substance abuse, like marijuana, right? We're talking about weed, right? And he gets banned for a whole 16 game season. So it's
Yep.
like, here's a guy who's literally beating on someone, and then here's a guy who just did something to take care of his mental health and his mind. That's what he does, to take care of his mental health. So the punishment is just not leading up. So here we go. We got Richard Sherman now, who doesn't really hit anyone, right? From what I've seen so far, it just looks like he tried to go in forcibly. No weapons, thank God, Richard. Thank God, no weapons. Right? You're just using your athletic strength to break into this home. They call the cops. Cops come. You're going to jail. We're in TMZ newspapers, right?
Yep.
But ultimately, I don't think the family wanted to ruin his career. Obviously,
Of
there's
course.
something going on. Obviously, there's something going on that we don't know. There's a side of the story that we don't know. Why is he trying to break into the home, right? Obviously, he might be having some marital issues. Whatever those issues are, he probably didn't want it to be in the public. She probably didn't want it to be in the public. Hey, let's drop this. Let's squash it. We're not pressing charges. We just wanted to make sure we were safe, blah, blah, blah. So until we figure out what's going on, which we probably won't, right? We probably won't find out.
Nope. This is going to be
It
another story
just,
that's just going to fade away.
right. But hopefully it's not a story that, as we've seen in many situations, ends his career,
Well,
right?
we'll
If
see.
that's what happened.
We'll see what happens based off the team that signs him, because we do have the social justice society of the world,
Hmm.
you know, going to have an opinion about him going forward. So we'll see
Because, I
what
mean,
teams will do in retrospect.
because once you slap that domestic abuse, title on someone, people
Mhm.
automatically assume that you went around just beating on women, right? That's an automatic assumption. Like you just went around
Yep.
beating on people, which, you know, I don't know exactly what happened. So that's the part that kind of stinks. But I know that he was, detained and held without bail, but then was later released. So that's where it gets to just be a little. I don't like it. I hate it, Richard. I wish you weren't involved in this and late in your career because we don't, you don't want anything that's going to tarnish your legacy, right? And this is one of those things that could really do some damage.
I agree.
But let's
Speaking of
carry on. Yeah,
damaging him,
legacy. Yeah, let's talk about damage and legacy here. Um, One of my favorite WNBA players, Big Liz Cambage. I want to say it's Cambage.
it's
I just need to get
Cambage.
better at
It's
this.
Cambage.
It is Cambage. I thought so. For the Las Vegas Aces has opted out, citing her struggles with mental health heading into the bubble, which Tokyo has already, I guess, declared that they're going to go ahead and do. Um, the bubble is a hard concept to grasp. We went through it last year, right, with the playoffs. I mean, it was successful.
I mean, COVID standard wise was successful.
Sure. I mean, we had some hiccups, obviously. Daniel House. Um, who else? It was another player. I can't think of who else it was.
Lou
It wasn't
Williams.
that Lil Williams. So we had a couple of issues, but nothing too crazy. Um, but I can understand why you wouldn't want to go to another country and do this and only have the support of your teammates. Right, no friends, no
Yes.
family. You don't have your particular trainer. You don't have your particular your circle, like your support system. You just don't have it. So I can understand why she would be upset, and then it really hurts Australia's basketball team because she is one of the best in the WNBA, and I think without her, um, they're still a good team, but she
Take them over
propels
the
them
top.
forward.
Yep.
Yeah, and they won a bronze medal in 2012, and obviously she was a part of that team. But she wanted to win she wanted to win an Olympic medal with her country, and the fact that she can't do it now for another 4 years, you never know what might happen. So,
Mm-hmm. For we know, this could have been her last shot.
right, exactly. But it saddens me that she's not playing. This is my girl, man.
I wasn't gonna go there. I was more than happy to let that one go.
Oh man,
You
it's
got
my
on me
girl,
about that before we started
man. I
recording.
know, I know.
Okay,
And now
I'm
that you said
like,
it, though, it's like, dang, man, this is my girl right here, man. She's a baller, man. I don't follow a lot of players, but I mean, dang, it would have been nice to see her out there because she plays the post very well. Like she's a really really traditional player, and um, it just stinks a lot. I hate it. Spinal.
spinal. Speaking of spinal, we're gonna keep with the Tokyo Olympic Games, and let's talk
Yes.
Team USA. People stop hitting the panic button repeatedly as they won their other warm-up game by a wide margin. So DEFCON
Yeah.
5 is no more. But they have seen players now opt out of said Tokyo Olympic Games. Bradley Beal, based off of COVID protocols, Jeremy
Hmm.
Grant as well, as a precaution. And today, right before we started recording, Kevin Love. He said it was because of an aggravating calf problem, but it also has something to do with, of course, his own mental health issues as well too.
Right. So obviously with Bradley Beal is different. We kind of been following this story for a couple of days. Kevin Love, we know, has documented, mental health issues. So his calf, which I learned yesterday, could be one of those things where,
Mm-hmm.
your brain is like, do we really, really want to do this? I don't know if we want to. What's that? Calf? Calf? Is that you? Calf? I'm feeling a little calf pressure uh, on the right calf. I think.
Would you say it's
I,
a calf crusher?
it's almost like, honestly, it is pretty
I mean,
close
it could just
to.
be phantom pain, honestly.
It really could, and that's kind of where I'm getting to. It definitely could be phantom pain. Most likely, it is phantom pain. Not trying to downplay
No,
his
no, we're
injury,
not
but
downplaying whatsoever. But given his
it re-
mental
it really could
issues,
be.
um,
It
given
really
his
could be
mental
phantom
history,
pain.
like we know, like it can do something to you. Plus, he didn't play in the bubble last year either.
True. That's true. He
So,
didn't.
there's so many other different factors onto it. Now, people are quickly moving on, talking about who's going to replace these three players, but I don't think, that's something that people should callously go like, well, let's bring in Anthony Edwards now. We need someone to bring us some young spark. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. I did see. I did see the team talking about bringing in maybe even Christian Wood.
Yep.
I did see that. Obviously, with Kevin Love, Christian Wood would be a pretty good replacement. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't. I kind of agree with you in saying that I wouldn't, be so quick
Yes.
to bring people in because you never know who else is going to opt out. So let's hold on. And plus, it's like, are these people who were on a reserve list? Are they just picking people? Like,
They might
you
just
know,
start be picking people out of the barrel, honestly.
that's so
Honestly.
nuts.
Now, of
And
course,
just,
the teams, the USA team is currently getting daily COVID tests as well.
mhm.
So, that's a big yikes. That's like a yellow flag right there, not towards a red, but it's getting close.
Right. And
Um,
just to give everybody a quick, I guess,
and their game
roster, right?
against Australia has been canceled,
Right.
which was
Just to give
painful
people
to
a
know.
quick roster though, because did we go over the roster previously?
No, we did not.
Just go over it really quickly, and I'll exclude Bradley Beal and Kevin Love at this point. So we got Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, obviously after he finishes his championship run, hopefully. Kevin Durant, Jeremy Grant, which I'm happy to see him there. Draymond
Well,
Green,
Jeremy
Drew
Grant is
Holiday.
now off.
Jeremy Grant is off too.
Yeah, that's what I stated before.
Dang. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, well, he's out too. That stinks.
yeah.
Draymond Green, Drew Holiday after he finishes his championship run. We'll see how that goes. Zach Levine, who I believe dunked on somebody the other night, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Lillard, who's hopefully able to actually overcome all these trade rumors, right, while he's playing on the Olympic team.
That's just the media trying to get stuff.
Chris Middleton, and of course, after he finishes his championship run, and Jason Tatum.
Who I believe is
But
also out as well.
Dang, Jason Tatum's out too. I know that he was. It looked like he was playing pretty well, and they don't talk about those kind of things. They don't highlight those things. So you think about it. If you're saying Jason Tatum's out, obviously Chris Middleton's out, Kevin Love's leaving, Drew Holiday is out, obviously Jeremy Grant is out, Devin Booker
Well,
is out.
and Jason Tatum isn't like out of the Olympics completely, but he didn't play
Well,
the last game because of
that's what I'm
injuries.
saying. So you think about it. You take these people who aren't playing for whatever reason, and the people who are in the finals. That's like three people on the team.
I see what you did there.
You got Bam Adebayo, which is a great player. You have Kevin Durant. Obviously, you got Draymond Green, Zach LaVine, Damian Lillard, Kevin Love. Prior to the ankle, that's it.
The calf,
That's
yes.
yeah, like whatever, whatever. Calf, ankle, same thing to me. I mean, that's it. That's like five or six players. So, see, that puts things in a huge perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like here you now have Team USA, which is full of great talent, but even great talent who not taking away from the other teams, but these players, for the most part, all of them went to the playoffs, right? Except for Zach LaVine, he might be able to have a little bit more energy to
Yes.
to play deep into the 40 minutes, right? Because he didn't go to the playoffs, so we'll say Zach LaVine can play all game. Kevin Love would have been able to play all game because he didn't do
Mm-hmm.
nothing either. But everybody else, they've been playing for a long time. And that's why I was saying it might be time for Team USA to officially be made up of players on teams who maybe didn't make the playoffs. Maybe one or two veterans, but it might be time to just go young, give these young guys an opportunity to bring it home. Um, that might just be the way to go, in my opinion,
I
just to
think they
see
tried it.
they did.
I want to say, was it the 2008 one was when we lost? We didn't medal? I
Let's
don't
see.
remember. But it was like, no,
Coach
it was
K.
like the 2003 FIFA tournament. It was like when like LeBron, D Wade, and Bosch all just got in, and
Uh,
people were feeling a certain type of way because Larry Brown was still the head coach for that team, and that was his
right.
last season being head coach for Team USA.
Larry Brown. But it would be nice to see those young guys, actually play it, and see what we got. Like let's just see what we got. Let's see who the future is. You know, and kind of go from there. Because I mean, it's cool. We sending LeBron and everybody over there. And then we dominate, and they're like, "Oh my God, we dominated!" Of course, we dominated.
And it
Like
goes back to what I was saying. Like we have the expectation as the United States in basketball to just absolutely crush everyone else,
right,
and
but right
anything
now
less
they're
of
not
that is a
crushing.
disappointment.
Yeah, right now they're not crushing it. Right, so now we're like, the bleep, don't come back here to
I mean,
America
we
after this
we
crap.
beat we in our last win we did win it by big, but it really doesn't matter. But last thing we want to talk about another yikes. This whole episode has been yikes, no hype.
No hype.
Um, Yankees are dealing with a lot of COVID protocols as well. 7 players, including Aaron Judge, who was just in the All Star game,
Mm.
all tested positive for COVID on Thursday,
What's up with that, man?
leading to their game against the Red Sox being postponed as a result.
Right. Um.
So
Dang,
people are now
Yanks.
officially saying the Yankees' dreams of making it to the playoffs this year have been absolutely deleted.
Dang, you didn't have to say it like that.
It was deleted.
I mean, CNN is saying that, they're still waiting for lab to come back. So right now they're saying that 3 players have confirmed and 3 are pending. That's what CNN says here right now. Obviously, this was early this
Even
morning,
if it's pending, they might just let them sit out as precaution.
which I could understand. I mean, like I said, and I don't know. Obviously, we don't know about the. I know some players on multiple teams, even in the NFL. Like some people were saying that they weren't going to take the vaccine. Some people, don't believe in the vaccine. And I know for myself, obviously I got the vaccine, but I still wear a mask in large places.
Same there.
Like I don't do anything completely different. Like I might walk the hallway here, right, without a mask, but I'm still like, you know, not like all up on people, right? So to me, people aren't really doing that. I think they're kind of just like, wham, I got this shot. I'm back. We're in. Oh my God, we're alive.
I had a feeling you were going to do that. You want to do the outro, Doc?
Yeah, I do. But definitely stay safe out there, ladies and gentlemen, and be sure to tune in Monday through Friday right here, Debate Amongst Friends at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you heard this podcast, I know that you heard it on your favorite podcast platform. But if you didn't, you can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com to listen to this episode as well as all of the previous ones. Be sure to tune in next week as we'll go over Game 5 of the NBA Finals, as well as any other news, updates, anything else. But don't forget the reads.